Good morning, YouTube. I wanted to show off this new gun here. Actually, it's not a new gun, but this is one of the guns I've been wanting for a long time. And if we can ever get it to stop snowing here, I'll try to get it to the range. And this is a Browning Model 71 in 348 Winchester, which Browning made in 1987 and 1988. These were a very limited release, a reintroduction on the Winchester Model 71, which of course is considered to be the finest lever action hunting rifle ever made. It's not as far as maybe this caliber, but because it was such a well designed and well put together rifle, and it was a caliber 348 Winchester. It was designed to replace a couple of calibers, one being the 33 Winchester, the other being the 405 Winchester. And the 348 Winchester, which allows you to use bullets anywhere from 150 grain up to 250 grain with ease, would take any game in North America. It's a wonderful round, and it's still considered the Cadillac. You look at some of the original Model 71 Winchesters, some of them are upwards of the rifles themselves, the early deluxe versions with a long tang. Those guns are well in between the $2,000 and $3,000 mark or more for some of the nicer examples. And if you, what they call the short rifle, they're not a carbine, they're a 20-inch barrel. The rifles had a 24-inch barrel. The short rifles, some of those in the deluxe version are bringing upwards of $5,000, $6,000 in excellent to near mint condition. This being the Browning, it's pretty much the same gun. They had a few differences. The barrel threads are different, but most of it is pretty much the same. And of course, these were all based on the Model 1886 Winchester, which is a very strong action, very tough design. It was used with a lot of your bigger cartridges, up including 5110 Winchester, which is one of the most powerful cartridges that was ever put for big game hunting. It was easily equivalent to some of the British African hunting cartridges they used to take elephants with. So that tells you what these actions can take. They're a very tough design. Of course, another Browning design. But this one here, of course, you can see the only factory ammo now. Hornady is starting to load ammo in it. I have not seen any boxes of ammo yet. This, of course, is the old Winchester 200 grain, which has been around for a long time. And you can see here on the left is the 348 Winchester, which is actually the brass is based off the 5110. They took a 5110 round, bottlenecked it, and put in a 348 diameter bullet. And this is the only round that ever ran with that particular diameter, which is, it was kind of unique at the time, but it's a very, very good round when it comes to elk, deer, bear. If you wanted a one gun to take everything, especially in those days in the 1930s, the 40s, and the 50s, which was the time period of the original Model 71s, the 348 Winchester would not only do it, but it would do it at longer distances than the 45-70. You could take factory ammo, and 200 and 250 yards was not out of the question for the 348 Winchester. And of course, here it is next to a 30-30 round, so you can get an idea of the size difference. You know, the 348 is, it's a powerful round. You're going to notice it when you shoot it. It's, you know, one of the better, definitely one of the better cartridges of the era. And it really was a good round. And to this day, these guns are still very popular. This gun I found here, I've been looking for a Model 71 for a long time. The problem with the original 71s is they're very collectible. The last two I've seen were upwards of $2,800. And they were both rifles. They were deluxe long tangs, which was the early guns. They had a different tang. That was this, like this gun here is what would be considered a short tang. and they changed the length of the stock, and it was, but the deluxe versions had the checkering on the forearm and the buttstock, and they also had a peep sight that was actually mounted to the top of the bolt of it. They're a wonderful design, and they were designed out of the box to be a top of the line hunting rifle. They were for a lever action rifle. Winchester never made anything better. You might have been able to order something at one time as a special order gun, but these were guns that came directly from the factory as some of the nicest rifles you'd ever see. And the Brownings are no exception to that. And this is actually a short rifle, and it has the 20-inch barrel. And of course, this is what was called a grade 1. The grade 2 was almost like a nickel finish with engraving what looked like gold inlay. It was a beautiful gun. But I got this one brand new in the box. The guy had never shot it. He was a collector. He had 2 Winchester Model 71s that were his, both deluxe rifles. And he had 3 Brownings. And he bought the 3 Brownings for his sons back in 1987 and 88. And his sons had no interest in hunting, had no interest in the guns. So he never took these guns out of the box. And I happen to do some horse trading because I've been whittling down my collection. And I'm narrowing my collection down to a handful of guns that I really want to shoot. And I'm selling the rest. And I'm just going down through only the very smallest of number of guns. I'm getting down to what I really want. And this is one, the opportunity came along and I snagged it. And this is one of those guns that I've kind of always had my eye on. And yes, even though it's new in the box, I do plan to shoot it. And I do plan to use it as best I can. But with that being said, YouTube, this is just a quick overview of the Model 71 Browning, which again is a reproduction, so to speak, from Browning. And these guns, the quality is exceptional on these. And like I said, if we ever get the chance to get to the range, I mean, it's buried under about 2 foot of snow right now. And we just got some more snow last night. I would like to get this and a couple other rifles to the range just so I can shoot them again. But with that being said, YouTube, have a good day and more videos to come.